Welcome to Astoria Film Festival Presents, our weekly half-hour program featuring our films, filmmakers, events, and the local community. In honor of Women's History Month, today we're speaking with female filmmakers from our 2020 festival, including Stacey Larkins, Priscilla Selgas, Angela Lambru, and Reetu Shah. So tell me a little bit about you and your background and what kind of led to you making this film.
Okay, for my a little bit about me. Okay, yes, I'm a writer director. I have to think about this. I'm also a musician. I write a lot of a lot of the music in the films I do. I also one of the reasons why I wrote and directed School Today is we were so bored during quarantine. It was just if you like film, I love to film a lot, and during that time, I mean, you felt like you couldn't do anything. Yes. So it was a nice project just to do with my daughter and husband, and gave us something to do, and gave me something to do, which helped me with Santa during the time. Yeah. When COVID hit, I had a film that's been circulating around film festivals called Zoe in Review, which is a film on domestic violence. I had that, and I also was working on a web series called Interverse, sort of a comedic web series on how your experiences affect your belief systems. And so I was working on writing and directing that, and when that hit, everything stopped. It's still kind of at a point where you're a little bit nervous. I know I am, to be out filming at this point. Yeah,
absolutely. And what have you been working on? What's next, I guess, coming up?
Well, what's next is I'm still working on Interverse. I'm trying to pick that back up in at least in a month or two. I'm just observing what's going on and writing episodes.
Yes,
it's very difficult if you're the type of person that's always having to create or do or film or do things, and this situation's hit. It's pretty grueling.
No, and I think a lot of filmmakers are, not only thrive in the kind of constant chaos. Yeah, you have to in order to do that work, right? But then also a lot of indie filmmakers are also working multiple jobs just to make ends meet, right? And then for all of that to come to a halting stop has been, I think, very hard to deal with for many people.
Yes, no, absolutely. I feel like every time I see people that I know that are filming, I'm always looking at what everything looks like. How close are they, and what are they? Are they wearing masks, and how would they even go about doing that? Yeah.
And so how has your daughter been dealing with the lockdown with you?
Yeah.
You're in LA, is that right?
No, I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
I'm in New Jersey. Yeah, she's doing actually pretty well with it. We have her on all remote. I know her school's like in a hybrid school, but they actually just got a message now that they're switching everything to remote. She's doing surprisingly well. She does get a little bit upset on not seeing her classmates, but I've been doing virtual play dates and calling parents, trying to keep her active. It's a little sad. You think back to when, you're younger, and like you have no concept of what that would have been like as a child to go through something like this. Yeah. I'm a teacher also, but I have to work in the I'm working in school, but I'm remote in the building. It's weird. I'm one of the teachers because I'm a special area teacher. That I'm on a computer, but the kids are in the building.
Dear God!
It's really strange.
I've heard of that, but I never quite understood what scenario would lead to that.
Because I'm a special area teacher, and I'm exposed to the entire school. And so what they thought was to prevent that exposure to us is to keep all the special area teachers remote, but they're in the, I'm still in the building. So all the teachers are there. Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, we have a lot of teachers in the co-op as well. I don't know if any are doing remote in schools. I know some are doing remote from home and some are in schools. Yeah. But I haven't heard of, I've heard of that scenario, but not personally. So I wasn't sure exactly what led to that.
to walk out of your room and say hello, see the kids you were just
Yeah,
on the
it's true.
computer.
True.
Yeah.
It's all so weird. It's all just so weird. So tell me more about the special area that you focus on. Like what do you teach?
Oh, my background's in music. I'm the music teacher in the school. I do everything. I do the chorus, I do the band, I do the general music, I do the music technology, the
Yes, yes.
one person show in the whole building. But my schedule's pretty much half band, half general music. But now I can't even do the band, except I do some lessons virtually.
Yes.
Because of COVID, and I can't have a chorus at all. They were like, no way. I mean, that's
They're not going to allow that even virtually? Like,
I have not tried. To
it's
me,
hard. It's
yeah,
hard.
it's very difficult, especially with music and everything being on a time, and you have the delays. And
Yep.
I'm kind of investigating different programs that could work for that. It's rough on the arts right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really rough.
It's so sad because it's really doing art and experiencing art are some of the only solace we have, right? And in these times, that's so needed. And yet it's what's getting butchered the most in these times.
Right. Yes. Yeah, that's very accurate statement. Absolutely. Yeah.
So tell us more about your music background and how you got started in that.
And there, yeah, I've been playing instruments since I was like in fourth grade. My main instruments are flute and the piano. I grew up where music. I was heavily involved in music. Just went to the Manhattan School of Music pre-college program when I was younger, and then minored in music in college, and then I have a master's from NYU in music technology there. So yeah, I have a lot of my interest is more in writing for composing film music for film, not performing at all. I do not have a personality for that.
I understand.
Yeah.
And what was your family musical?
My my grandmother was a music teacher, and all of my father's sisters played instruments. And my grandfather, my mother's side, was a band director. It's everywhere. Yeah, and my husband's a musician too. Yeah, so it's yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's in the blood. I just think it helps so much in other areas. Yeah, I mean, just learning an instrument. I mean, I'm
Nice.
huge on pushing that. Even with my daughter, she plays, the piano, and I start her at 5. Even if she doesn't want to do it, then no pressure. But it helps with focus and so many other areas. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, I mean, any good hobby, like whether it's film or music or drawing or anything that keeps a kid dancing, for me a lot, when gives you something else to do other than follow the pack, so
Right.
that if you need that, it's like your friend, if you will.
Yeah.
At that time when you're trying to figure out who your friends are and who you are, having that friend that's the arts, I think
Yes.
is like, there's no better friend, really.
Yeah, and it's an escape. It really is an escape.
Yeah, absolutely.
Website StaceyLarkins.com.
Cool.
Yeah. And I'm also on Instagram on Stacey.Larkins.
Nice.
But not on Twitter.
And what, not what?
I said I'm not on Twitter. I don't quite understand Twitter. It's a world that I can't quite get into. I know a lot of
So I guess I'll just start with, like, if we go around the Zoom and introduce yourselves and what you do, what you did on the film specifically, that would be helpful to start.
Okay. My name is Priscilla Selgas. I'm a screenwriter, and I wrote the film Broken Birds. And I've met some wonderful people that helped me make this film. And my director, Angela Lambru, was a tremendous help. And we had a fantastic time filming it in Astoria, Queens, New York.
So, but you're in Miami?
I am.
So how did you guys get up to Queens for this?
I used to live in Jersey, and Angela had a mutual friend, and that's how I met her. And we just hit it off, and we've been working together ever since.
Very cool. Angela?
Yeah, Angela Lambru. I'm the director of Broken Birds. I've been involved in the entertainment business for, I hate to say how many years, let's just say over 25 years, okay? You know, I've been involved in some form of the performing arts. You know, I've done a little bit of everything. I've done theater. I started out at the Clemente Soto Vélez Cultural Center down on Delancey Street when it was just a bunch of little theaters, and I did bilingual theater there. And then I in between all that, I was doing a little bit of television and a little bit of radio. And then I got a great opportunity to travel, and I went traveling for about 12 years.
Oh, wow.
And then, you know, the opportunity came to do this wonderful project with Priscilla, and I jumped at it.
And what got you started? Were you like a theater kid, or, you know, how did your spark for film begin, I guess?
I've always loved performing and being in front of people and telling stories mainly. I love telling stories. I think it started from my mother. She would tell us all these stories when we were kids, and so that kind of stuck with me. And you know, I always wanted to get into the arts growing up, and somehow, you know, I started, I majored in theater. And then from there, you know, I just branched out and tried a bunch of different things and got involved in dance as well. And I love voiceover work. It's one of my favorite things.
Priscilla, how did...
So for me, I started when I was 14. Like, people were telling me you should write, and I was saying, no, that's for somebody else. I didn't think that I was a writer. But I've been hearing it over and over and over again, like throughout the years, that I should. So when the economy crashed in 08, all of a sudden I had all this time to start writing, and I had gobs and gobs of like notebooks and just stuff that I would write. And over the years I said, you know, I should really do something with this. So I didn't major in film. I didn't go to, you know, film school. So I'm kind of, I guess, self-taught, you know, and I just like writing. Like Angela said, I like telling stories also. And I know that there was, you know, those that did go to school. I think that's fantastic, and I kind of wish I did go. But, you know.
I mean, I didn't go to school.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, all right.
I went to college, but I was a architecture major, so.
Really? Oh, wow, okay.
It's okay, because
yeah.
I didn't graduate. I mean, I went, you know, and I almost made it, but I didn't make it. Something happened along the way.
So we, this is my second film, and before this, we did a music video, and Angela also helped direct that. And again, it's just kind of been trial and error, but like, it's been an amazing journey this far. And Angela was the one who suggested, you know, you should submit the film to the Astoria Film Festival. And I was like, all right, you know. And so I'm really happy that we did, and we got to meet you, and, you know, like a lot of amazing people. But we're just going to see, you know, what's the next project. Definitely the pandemic has changed everything, but I'm learning a lot as far as like voiceovers, and how a lot of people are working through the pandemic, and they're still keeping busy, which I think is amazing. And I'm working now with Angela on her latest project, which involves a lot of voiceover. So I'm learning a lot. It's pretty cool industry. Like, I'm really enjoying it.
Angela, so what's your next project?
So I'm in the middle of my next project right now. I'm really excited about it, and I'm also stressed because it really requires a lot of work, and as I keep working on it, I keep discovering things, extra stuff that I have to do. As a union member, SAG-AFTRA union member, I had to become a signatory, and so that requires a lot of paperwork and a lot of legal stuff, you know, a lot of contracts and stuff that I'm like I don't even want to see, but unfortunately, it's something that you have to do. But my project is called The Kitbull Story, and I want it eventually to be a web series or a short film, or it could be both. But I have to start somewhere where I know that at least I can present it and not spend so much money. So I'm doing a podcast.
Oh, that's great.
And
They have been growing like
Yes.
wildfire through pandemic.
Yes.
Even like a lot of we added a podcast category because I noticed everybody was doing a podcast.
Everybody's doing a podcast now. Everybody and their grandma.
Yes.
I was also a part of this platform called Eat, Darling, Eat, and I wrote a story. And it's about mothers and daughters sharing their lives through food. And they found me on I think it was Backstage, whatever. Anyway, I wrote a story, and they liked it, and now they're doing podcasts, so I had to record it, and now it's been recorded, so everybody's getting on the bandwagon. Yeah.
That's cool.
So how did you get into voiceover?
When I was at the beginning, when I was doing theater, I became a part of Hola. I don't know if you're familiar with them, Hispanic organization of Latin actors. And John Leguizamo was there way before he became, I remember talking to him before he became big. And
I used to go to the gym with him.
Oh,
I mean, not like buddies, but he was at my gym in Astoria, actually, when I was like 25 years ago. He lived around here and used to go, some rinky dink gym. It wasn't even a name,
Yeah, he's a funny guy. Boy, is he funny.
Nice person.
Yeah, he really is. And I remember when I was in high school, I did a project for my English class, and the other two classmates and I did a radio type of thing. And it kind of stuck with me, and I've always been fascinated by it. And just, again, it's telling a story. And so while I was at Hola, I got involved with them, and I went to the director, Francisco Rivera, who passed away, unfortunately, some time ago. And he helped me. He says, he gave me some training, and that's what got me into SAG. I booked a McDonald's commercial just with one word.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And so, and then I got signed with one of the top agencies in New York, but, I'm not signed with them anymore. You get all these opportunities, and you have to make decisions. And, I made the decision to travel and dance when things were not going so great at the agency. And so when I came back, you have to always start from scratch.
Oh, yes. Yeah, same. Even in the, I was always more in an executive level position, but you're only as good as your last win, right? And then, I took time off to be a mom, and then my child has disabilities, so I decided to homeschool. And so, I've been out of the executive world for a while. So it's hard to get gigs once you haven't had that big win for 5 years. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, yeah.
I know. Yeah. The hard thing now is because I also then took time off to take care of a very sick brother. He passed away, but I was his caregiver for about almost 4 years. And then coming back into the business, it was about 5 years ago, everything's really changed.
Totally.
You have to, have a reel, and you can't, there's more non-union work than there's union work. And so you're between a rock and a hard place, you have to really create your own stuff. That's why I created this Kitbull story.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. That's why I created the festival.
I think so too.
And I think with women too, you find trying to go back after any kind of break, there's just so much stigma around, I took time off to take care of my dad too, when he was passing, and his last 2 years. And I remember there was an article I had a house up in Boston with my then fiance, who's now my husband, but I was down in New York with my dad while he was passing in Astoria. So anyway, there was a local newspaper in Boston that had printed some article about women who take time off to caregive. And did that ruin their careers? And I was so angry that they would even care about that I like wrote this letter back to the editor that then got published. And then I had all these people, like, it was just very overwhelming. But my letter was basically like, who cares? Right? Like, my dad is dying and I want him to retain his dignity. I don't give a crap what my career ends up doing. Right. So, but in hindsight, they were right. But why should it be that way? Like, if we're tasked with the caregiving, why should we be punished for caregiving?
We always have to prove ourselves as women, unfortunately.
Absolutely. But over and over and over again. Like,
yeah. It's never enough. It's never enough. But I enjoyed working with Priscilla very much, and I think that we both hit it off. And she's really so easy to work with. She's definitely a joy. And putting together her project was, I just shared with her the little that I had, because I haven't really. That was only my second directing something, but I did share with her, and it came together, and I was happy with it.
So how did the concept for Broken Birds come to you, Priscilla?
I think just about every woman out there at some point or another has gone through that. Is he going to call me? Is it going to work out? Why isn't he calling me back? A book came out in 2004, He's Just Not That Into You. It was really huge. And then they made a movie in 2009. But many women were just not getting it. So the main actor, Lita, was played by Nicole Luna Gonzalez. She just is distraught and she's just not getting it. She's just very convinced that he likes her and she knows it. And she's just like in complete denial that he's just not, he's not calling back and he's not pursuing it. So a lot of that came from like personal experiences. But I also wanted to have that really close buddy, because I think all women have that one friend that we can all call, at 1 a.m. to say, I really need to talk and vent and, get this off my chest. And Vern, who's played by Natalie Blessing, she is that friend who gives her that tough love and says, you need to move forward. And I loved having just like an all-female cast and, female director, female, screenwriters. So, and the owner of Moa Coffee, which is in Astoria, Queens, she was really great. She allowed us to film there, and she's even in the film.
And are you in Astoria, Angela?
Oh yes, oh. I'm right off the Broadway stop.
Oh, cool. Anything in the works?
Actually, I have a comedy that I want to do next. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm thinking about maybe this summer. We'll see how it all works out.
Where can people find your work? Like any websites or Instagram handles you want to share?
Yes, I am right now struggling with the domain name that I just started with my my podcast. It's called The Kitbull Stories. She's been rescued, and she's got these abilities to help other animals. And my reason for doing this is twofold. One is, of course, I love to write and I love to do voiceovers, but it's also to educate the public about the mistreatment of animals, and through that and through the humor of these characters to send a message to people that there's a way to treat animals, and there's a way not to treat them.
So I'm also on Instagram, Selgas Productions. And you'll find both Angela and I on there. I don't know if Angela's going to have an Instagram for Kitbull, but hopefully.
I am. That's going to be the next thing.
Tell us a little bit about what prompted you to create your film.
Yeah, so I was in my last year of college at Penn State, and I knew it was in a documentary abroad class, so I knew I was going to go to Portugal anyways. And I remember we had to pick an idea, and I couldn't think of anything for the life of me. Everyone was doing documentaries on foods, on places, and I just couldn't find a topic I was passionate about. But as I just kept researching and digging deep, I found an article that was called "Why Does Portugal Hate Black People?" And that kind of prompted me and made me kind of gain further interest into what was going on. I just kept researching. I felt like an investigator because they were very good at hiding these links and these all this information. So yeah, I just kept looking into that, and that's kind of when I knew when I would go to Portugal for a week with the class, I was going to do my documentary on the racism against Afro-Portuguese citizens in Portugal. So I guess it just kind of happened. And I was really interested, so I kept digging deeper.
Can you tell us a little bit about your personal experience in filmmaking?
Yeah, sure. So it started around, ever since I was a kid, I knew I wanted to direct and edit Bollywood music videos. I was kind of always thinking about that kind of stuff, just imagining. And then it wasn't until my second year of college where I knew that I had to become a filmmaker. I didn't want to choose the route of business or engineering. So yeah, I started from then on. My junior year, I started doing a lot more film, and I just love to edit videos and film music videos. So I got into a lot of editing, and then with that, I got a lot of, and with being on set so much, I got a lot of confidence directing. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into directing and editing a lot of the films.
Then tell us a little bit about how you got more into documentaries.
Yeah, so I was just gonna say that I had always been doing documentaries of musicians and stuff like that, but now with this documentary, I really hope to start doing more documentaries of social issues and things like that.
Is there anything you want to plug, like a website or like a social media page?
Yeah, if you'd like to check out more of my work, you can go to www.reetushah.com. And also, I will be starting a GoFundMe page soon for the people in Portugal, especially because they're middle-class workers, and because of COVID, they are in need of our help right now. So I will be listing that soon on the website. Yeah, I think overall, I would just like to thank every single person who was involved with this film. A lot of my colleagues spent a lot of their days helping me, and to everyone who was an interviewee, they have given so much of their time and their stories. I know it was a lot, pretty hard for some of them to do that, and just thank you for being just a part of such an interesting and dynamic film.